So in 5 months, I saw all the change. I saw how women disappear from society. And when we went to the protests, Taliban, they start beating women in front of my eyes. They couldn't catch me to beat me because I started running fast. The athlete, you know, I was an athlete, so I was running. But I took a video of that moment. When I saw in my face, just in front of me, they beat a woman. I said, oh my God, they have no limits. Like, they don't care. Hi, this is Marzieh Hamidi. I'm Iranian-born Afghan and a professional athlete and women's rights activist. I'm here to tell my story. Well, to be a refugee in Iran is not easy. First of all, I was born and raised in Iran as a refugee. Unfortunately, I couldn't be like other people that they live there. I was facing many problems, going to school, competing in competitions, and to be part of society, it was very difficult. But for me, Iran is my home and is my country. But unfortunately, the system there is racist and they are against Afghanistani people. I suffer a lot there, and many other people also, they suffered a lot and they are still suffering with the system. So I can say that it's not the best place, but I love there and I miss my friends and my people. First of all, I was 12. I was 12, yes, and my mother, she decided to leave Iran and to go to Germany because she said here you will not have a good future. You cannot continue your life the way you want. So she decided to go to Germany with me and with my sisters and with my brother. And we decided to leave Iran and to cross the borders to go to Germany. But unfortunately, the Iranian police catch us in the border of Iran and Turkey. And they forced us to leave the country and they sent us back to Afghanistan. So this was not my choice and my family choice, but because we crossed the borders, so they said you have to go back to your country. And it was first time for me to go there, and I didn't know what will happen, how will be my life, because for me Afghanistan was just in the news, you know, like the bomb attacks, the war, like it was all violence. And I was like, okay, where I'm going and what will happen? I just know that my parents grew up there, so for me it was something new and scary. And when I went there, like many men, they were looking at me and my sisters because the way we dressed was different, and they know that we are coming from, you know, other countries. So it was challenging and it was scary. So for me, it was very hard to live there, and I was there for 2 years, and it was very difficult because everything was new. And for the people there, I was like, they were calling me, you are an Iranian girl. So again, I was a foreigner there. You know, like the way they were calling me in Iran, they were calling me the same in Afghanistan. So for me, I was like, okay, where I belong. For me, it was a bit difficult to adapt and to fit in the society. But after 1 year, I fell in love with Afghanistan, with Kabul, with people, and I discovered new things, and I discovered my parents' city that they used to live, and all the culture, and I fell in love with that. But I couldn't stay long there because my sister, one of the most singer in she was the most famous singer in Afghanistan, and it was so dangerous for us to stay there because she was rapping against the Taliban and against the system that is against women. So it was a bit challenging for us to live there, and since she was so famous in Afghanistan, so my family, they decided to go back to Iran, and I went back to Iran again like this. And I was 14 when I went back to Iran. I didn't want to really go back there because I was in love with Afghanistan, and I was like, okay, I want to live here, and I was like, this is my new home. But my family decided to go back again because of the security problems. And I discovered taekwondo in Iran with one of my classmates in school. She told me, do you want to try taekwondo in my gym? And I was like, yes, why not? And the first day when I went to the gym, when I saw people are kicking, I was like, oh my God, this seems like it's my therapy, it's like my medicine. And I decided to continue taekwondo, and my coach, she told me like, you're flexible, you have the talent, and if you want, you can continue. And after like 3-4 months, I started competing. So she was so happy, and she told me, you can make more and you can be successful. So this is the way I discovered taekwondo, and I decided to continue as a professional job. I mean, there are many girls that are doing taekwondo in Iran, and it's not something complicated. And taekwondo is like part of culture now in Iran, and we have many big champions from Iran, and it's not a taboo to do taekwondo in Iran. So for me, it was easy to do it, and I was not really facing problems. But there were some people from families, you know, talking bad about me, like she's doing a sport of men. Like they were talking like this, but I never care about what they are saying. So I was doing my stuff. Just sometimes I was stressed because I had a refugee status there, so I was sometimes stressed if I'm gonna have a problem in competitions, if I want to go international competitions, how I'm gonna make it. So I was just stressed about that. When I started taekwondo, like the beginning of the month, I was abused sexually by a man, and I was feeling very depressed and sad, and I was thinking that how I'm gonna live with all of this sadness and depression and about what happened to me. So it was very difficult for me, and I was not going training because I had to go to the judge, to the police, and I had to deal with my case because I went to the police and I opened the case against him. So it was very complicated, and it was difficult for me because it was a lot of pressure on me, and I was just a young girl that I went to the police and I said, okay, this man, he abused me and I need help. So it was not easy, and I was feeling very alone, and it was not many people by my side, and they were seeing me that I'm ashamed for them because I just stand for my right, and they were like, okay, so you know, because on that society, it was a shame like to talk about this kind of things, and they were like, oh, so it's finished for her, you know. So I was feeling really alone, and I was fighting alone against that, and it was very difficult. And the judge was bad with me because, of course, they always support men, not women. So it was very difficult, and I was in a very bad situation mentally. So for me, taekwondo became a therapy, and when I was training, it was a time for me to forget, okay, what happened to me and all this injustice, and I was just training, and I was like, okay, I feel better when I'm training, and I think less about what happened. So because of that, taekwondo was something that I was always like a medicine, like you take to feel better. For me, taekwondo was like this, and I was feeling better, and it helped me a lot to not fall in depression, and to be with my teammates, to making competitions. So it was a way to not think about it. I was always seeing in the media like what is going on to the woman, you know, especially to Yazidi women, because when I was on that age, Yazidi women, they were slave for Daesh. So I was always affected by emotionally. I was feeling sad when I was seeing that in the news, like what is going on over there and what they are doing to the women. But when I faced injustice by myself, I was like, okay, it's really a bad situation for women, you know, not only Yazidi women there. So I'm also one of the victim, but of course in another way. And that was the first time I faced injustice in a very young age. And in my head, I understood that, okay, there are many things that I have to fight, and I was feeling that I will become a fighter. You know, I will become a fighter for women's rights. And in the teenage time, when I was a teenager, I was always feeling angry, and I was feeling, okay, this is not right. What is going on? Like, it's not normal. So I was always feeling that, and I was always feeling that I have a duty. It's my duty to fight against that, and I was feeling this in my heart. I remember one day I came back from school, and I was in Iran. I came back from school, and I was eating with my mom, and I saw in the news that they killed a young girl in Afghanistan, in Kabul, because of they say that she disrespected Quran, and they burned her. They burned her in the city in front of everyone, and when I saw all the violence, I felt like I'm in that situation. So I was really attached about what is going on women, and it was sad to see all of this is going on in the world, and I'm just safe with my family. But I was always feeling that I'm in future I will be a fighter, because when I saw Nadia, she was one of the slaves of Daesh. When I saw she escaped and she came to Europe, she saved her life. I was so inspired by her. I said, how is this possible to escape from Daesh and to save your life? So she became my example when I was very young, and I was feeling that I want to be like her, you know, like very strong, very brave. And she's still also fighting for women's rights. So this all started when I was very young. I came back in Afghanistan in 2020. Like, I didn't stay long in Iran again, because again, my family, they said there is nothing here for us. And I was a good athlete. I was competing, and my brother, he said that you can be in national team of Afghanistan and you can represent Afghanistan, so it's better to move there and to live there. So we decided to go to Afghanistan. And when I went there, it was awful. Like, Afghanistan, it has been always bad, the situation there. Like, but at least there were no Talibans, so I could train, I could be in national team, I could compete, I could be in society, you know. But it was very, very bad situation for women. Like, security was awful, and they were kidnapping many women, many young girls, and the violence still was there. So it was many injustices against women, but at least I could leave home and go to the training. So the situation was not really interesting, but compared to now, of course, I could do my sport, I could go to class, I could go out with my family and enjoy life. I could do things, but it was always with fear, because each time I was leaving home, I was praying that I can come back home safely, because I didn't know if I was afraid of bomb attacks, because every week was this happening in Kabul, and it was like, maybe the next will be me, or the next will be my family. So this was with this fear, I was living in Afghanistan with a lot of stress, and I was suffering with that. And even sometimes when I was coming back from training to home, I was seeing on the way that there is a family that they are dead because of a bomb attack. So I was living in a tragedy life. So it was very difficult to feel comfortable, because you don't know if you're gonna die. You don't know what is the next tomorrow for you, you know. So it was very difficult, but still I was living and I was enjoying with my family, and we were trying to be happy, even everything was bad and dark there. Before Taliban arrived in Kabul, there was war in the cities, other cities, and they were taking power all over, like, Afghanistan, and it was just only Kabul that was safe. So it was very scary, and one day before the Taliban came, I went out with my friend, and we were always going to a cafe that it was always crowded, like young people there, like it was totally different. And when we went there, there was no one. It was only me and her, and everybody, like, there was like 3-4 men there, and they were looking weird to us, like, what they are doing here. Like, everybody know Taliban are coming, except me and my friend. And then I was feeling not good, and I said, okay, let's go home because I feel like something is wrong. And like when I was looking at the city and around me, everything was bizarre. Like, there was an energy, like something will happen. And when I was walking, there was a guy, like he crossed and he said, tomorrow the Taliban will come and you cannot dress like this anymore, you know. And my friend was telling me that she's hearing many shotguns. And I was like, okay, there is something happening because they are entering the city. And my brother, he came and he told us that you have to change your clothes because Taliban are in the city. And they can come to home and they can check everything, so you have to be like well covered. And I was like, no, they are not here. They cannot be here. It's not possible. You know, there was a part of me who was fighting against that, to not accept they are here. And when I woke up in the morning, I saw everything is normal in the city. People are in the street, like everything is normal, and I don't see Taliban. And then I saw in the news, they say that Taliban are in Kabul. But I was like, maybe it's fake or it's a mistake, you know, because sometimes they were having mistakes. And then I saw someone was going live in Instagram, and she was showing the streets, and there were Taliban in the streets. Again, I was not accepting. I was like, no, it's not possible, you know. And my father, he came home, he was outside. He said, I saw Taliban. I said, no, it's not possible. He said, you can go out to see if you don't believe. So that was the moment I was like, okay, they are here. And in 1 hour, everybody left the streets. Like, it was empty. And it was so heartbreaking for me because I saw everybody is afraid of Taliban, and they are like just going back to their homes and they want to hide. And I saw one of the police officer, he changed his clothes quickly because he didn't want to be killed by the Taliban. So that was very heartbreaking for me to see how everybody is changing just to survive. Imagine my life. Okay, now I will live with burqa, I will marry Taliban members, I will give birth. I was imagining my life like this. I was just imagining how I'm gonna live now with them. I don't know why I was thinking like this, because I was thinking it's the end for me. But then I saw in Instagram, in Facebook, that everybody's going to the airport, they're trying to leave the country. But for me, that moment, I was feeling my home is the most safe place now, because I don't know if I go to the airport, what will happen to me? You know, if they catch me, I don't know. It was so risky, you know. So I was like, okay, I just want to be with my family and I just want to stay at home. And some of my friends called me like, come, we take you, let's go to the airport. I said, I don't go. I don't have this courage to go to the airport and face them and to leave, because they were beating people. And of course, they were German, French, American army there, you know, to help people to leave. But I was not even trusting them, because why you want to help us to leave? Yeah. What is the deal behind that, you know? So in 5 months, I saw all the change. I saw how women disappear from society. And when we went to the protests, when we went to, it was a manifestation, and when we went there with some friends, Taliban, they start beating women in front of my eyes. They couldn't catch me to beat me because I started running fast. The athlete, you know, I was an athlete, so I was running. But I took a video of that moment. When I saw in my face, just in front of me, they beat a woman, I said, oh my God, they have no limits, like, they don't care. I was not staying at home, because it was beginning of their power, so they wanted to show to the world like, okay, we change, we are good people, we want peace, you know, we respect everyone. So I was using that against them. I was using the lie they were saying against them. And I was going out every day, because when I was staying home, I was feeling that I'm in prison. But when I was out, I was feeling better because I prefer to be out and to see what is going on. So I was going out, I was going to the restaurant that I used to go a lot. When I was entering the restaurant, it was full of terrorists. And me, the only one, like there, girl with my friend. And I was like, oh my God, shall we enter or we have to go back home? And I was like, no, we enter, we go inside. And there were, like one time in the restaurant, there was a family part, you know, like just families go there. And the guy of the restaurant told me, it's better you go there because there is no one, so you will be safe and you will not sit with Taliban. I said, no, I will sit in the middle of all the men, you know. So it was very scary, and my friend was like, if something happened, it's because of you. And I was like, let's see what will happen, because I want to see what will happen, you know. So at the same time, I was very brave, but deep heart, I was like, oh my God, if they kill me, you know. And then when I was passing one of the members of Taliban, I fall from stress. I feel I'm dead from, I feel I'm dying from stress. And my friend, she panicked. She said, let's go home, you know. And I was like, okay, I made it. After that, I had no fear from Taliban. You know, I faced that. I faced what I was afraid of it. And after, I was going out every day. I was seeing what is going on, you know, and I wanted to see how things are changing, because I know I will leave one day. So I wanted to see everything before I leave and to keep it in my mind and to keep it for a future fight, you know. And it was very bad, it was very tough. And I was making interviews with Western medias, you know, with foreigner journalists. It was very risky, but I was covering, you know. That was the moment a new Marzieh was born. When I was in Kabul, I had an interview with the French journalist, Elle magazine, and she made an interview of me, and there was a photo exhibition of me in Champs-Élysées with other Afghanistani women, and after she called me, she said, do you have a visa for a country? I said, no, I don't have a visa. And she said, we try to help you to leave the country. And they helped me to leave the country, and it was very stressful for me, because at the airport I was in trouble because of my medals in my luggage, and I was like, okay, maybe they will not let me leave the country, but they had a deal with the West to let people to leave, so they let me leave the country. I left alone. I was just with other two girls that they were in the same magazine with me. And I left everything. I left my home, my family, my friends. I had just my luggage, I have just my medals, some documents, and I have just 2 pants and 3 traditional clothes of Afghanistan, because I was like, I want to have something from there. That was the only thing that I had. And I was like, I don't care about it. I just want to live. You know, I just want to survive. The day when I was leaving, my mom, she wanted to cry, and I said, don't cry. I don't want to see you cry when I'm leaving, because I know we will see each other soon. When I arrived in Paris, and it was morning, I remember, December, 1st of December 2021, I arrived in Paris. It was 8:30 morning, and I saw like it's dark, the sky, and I say, they told me that I will arrive in the morning, but why it's dark, the sky? I feel like it's night. So they told me, no, it's morning, and I was like, oh my God. And then when I left the airport and when we went inside the car, I start feeling that the sky is like killing me, like, you know, like choking me. I feel like I'm dying from sadness. And I opened my phone, I went to the Google map, and I checked, like, I said, oh my God, I'm so far away. I was like, it's finished. I cannot go there anymore. And it was very sad for me. And I was with 2 other girls, they were sisters, and I just look at them and we start crying. And that was the moment I felt I'm in exile and I can't go there anymore, and it was very difficult for me. And when I went to the hotel, when I entered in the room, I was feeling like I'm entering in another world. And the sky was so beautiful that day, but it's so beautiful, but I don't feel happy. I was in a hotel for like 20 days, I think. We were in the hotel in Montrouge. And each time, sometimes, like I pass Montrouge, I feel that moment that I was there. And then they gave us a house in Châtillon, somewhere like that, with 2 other girls. I was there for like 2 months, and then Mairie de Vincennes, they welcomed me and they give me a flat. So I was living there until like last year, before the threat start. So I was there, and you know, still I was not feeling good because a part of me still was in Afghanistan until like my family left, and each time I was thinking of people, and when I was seeing the injustice, it was killing me, and you know, like my soul was there and still is there, and it was very difficult to make the balance and to connect with the place that I am. I started practicing taekwondo, I think like 1 month after when I arrived, because I was like, oh my God, I have to go back to taekwondo, and I was going in a French class. And when I told to the teacher that I'm an athlete, and she was like, wow, you're an athlete, she was surprised. And then she told me, I can help you to find a club to go through the training, and she found me a club. And when I went to the club the first day, the coach told me, wow, your technique is so good, because he was thinking, okay, she's coming from Afghanistan, so she's not good in taekwondo. But I was very good, and he was surprised, and he was happy also. I started first in the club, and after, when I moved to Vincennes, I started training in INSEP with French team. When I started training with French team, and I was looking at them, like we were in the same age, but I was feeling like I'm older than them, like 10 years, 20 years older than them. I was so mature than them. We were so different, and we are different, you know. So I was feeling the lack of sympathy, lack of support. I was feeling alone, like there was no emotional support, so I was suffering more, and I was feeling more alone. That time for me, taekwondo was like, okay, I have to do it because I have to survive, you know. But I was feeling at the same time, taekwondo is not going to solve the problems. I lost that confidence that I had, and that spirit of fighter, as a taekwondo fighter. I was training hard. Like when I'm training, I'm strong. Like I train strong. Like I'm really focused. But when I was going competition, just before fight, I was like, for what I'm fighting? You know, I was in a war with myself, like for what I'm fighting. I didn't have any motivation for competition. I wanted to go and win, you know, but there was part of me that was stuck of past life. That was something I was suffering a lot about it, because I was feeling alone and there was not emotional support. I was just training, and I was always injured because I was suffering from a lot of stress, and my body was not recovering. And at that time, I didn't have a good coach to take care of me, you know, to support me and to help me to achieve what I want. My new coach, Pedro, he's very supportive, and I'm happy I found him, and I hope I can achieve what I want with him. But 3 years I suffered a lot, and I feel nobody see that. Since I came to France, of course, I was always fighting for women of Afghanistan, you know, talking with media, like using my platform, everything to be their voice. And when the Taliban announced that women cannot speak in public, and I was like, is it a joke? Or like, I mean, they are not afraid of international community, you know? They just make rules, and there is no consequences for them. So I was very angry. And I launched my hashtag Let Us Exist, because I wanted to talk about this situation, and I wanted people talk about this situation, you know, because this was not something normal. And many people support my hashtag, like in my X account, more than, I think, 1 million people millions of people support. And I was happy to see that support. And after Shafi asked me for interview for his YouTube channel. So I talked about the cricket national team of Afghanistan because they are good friends of Taliban and Taliban are supporting them, and they are like family. So I said they are not representing me and Afghanistani women, they are representing terrorists and they are terrorists. The day after, it was just all over the media, like, I mean, Persian media, you know, against me, like writing bad things, like comments was horrible. But I'm not a person who cares about these kind of things. I was like, I don't care, they can write whatever they want. But everybody was calling me, oh, do you see TikTok? Oh, do you see Facebook? Do you see Instagram? What is going on? I was like, yes, but I don't care. Because there was like all over social media, they were attacking me. And then the day after, I was at my home. Then I received a call. It was like around 5 p.m. When I saw the number, it was Afghan number. I said, who is this number is calling me? And when I saw the profile photo, it was not a normal person, you know. I didn't answer. Then he called me again. I felt it's someone from them, you know, because I know like the face was telling me who is he. So I responded and I recorded at the same time when I was talking. So he was talking in Pashto. I speak Farsi. He was talking in Pashto, and I said, I don't understand what you are saying. And he said, why you are talking about cricket team? Why you are talking about Rashid Khan? Rashid Khan is the captain of the team. And I said, because you're terrorists. And he said, I have your address. Yeah, I mean, he said all of this in Pashto, and after I asked my friend to translate for me. And when I finished, you know, with him, I received non-stop calls. I was like, what is going on in my phone? Like, there are like numbers calling me from different countries. Like, it was like, I was like, is it real or what? I was in shock. Then I called my friend. I said, where are you? I have to leave the home because they have the address. And she said, come my home. And I went to my friend's home, and then I called my lawyer, Ines. I said, okay, I need help because there are many numbers are calling me. They have my address and I don't know what's going on. You know, like, I need help. I need to go to the police. So then she came and we went to the police. We opened the case, and even the police was shocked because when I was with the police, they were calling. And when he saw my phone, he was like, oh my God, like, what is going on? Like, in 2 hours, 500 numbers were calling me. And when I saw there are European numbers, I was more afraid. So when the police saw that, he accompanied me to my friend's place, and then he said to me, I have to change my place. So I was hiding and I was staying in someone's place, you know, for a time. And even one of the members of Taliban, he announced in X, in Twitter, he said that if someone can attack her with knife, there is a prize for that. Each time I post in my Instagram, like, if you see the comments, it's all hate. Like, each time they send me bad messages. Even sometimes they send message to my friends. And they threat my family also. They published the photo of my mother, and they were threatening me, you know, like, okay, you have to shut your mouth. One of them, they stopped my father in the street, and he said that you're not ashamed as an Afghan Muslim man that your daughter is talking like this and living like this. But my father, he's more crazy than me. So he said, she's right, terrorist is terrorist, so she's talking about the truth. But yes, they stopped my father, and they were sending many messages to my sisters, and my sisters at the same time, I mean, my family, they're really proud of my fight, they support me, but they were so angry that they are also in danger because of me. They said, it's because of you, like, I have to stay at home, I have to be like this, I have to be like this. And I was like, I know, but we cannot live like this also, you know, to stay silent and to let them do what they want. So it was, the beginning, it was very, very difficult. And for 6-7 months, I was in a survival mode. Like, I was fighting. And then I started having anxiety, and then I started having panic attacks. And all of this started because of the threats, because my life totally changed, my lifestyle. I don't live the way I want as a young girl, and I have to be always with bodyguard. I have to, even like walking the street for me alone is not possible. I have to be with bodyguard. When I'm going to training, like I'm grateful for the protection that I have, and I'm happy that they are protecting me. But in this young age, I feel it's too much for me, and I just want to live free and go crazy in life. But I can't, and most of the time I have to be at home. Like, my lifestyle is not the same like my other friends, so it's difficult, and I can't trust people easily now. Like, many things change in my life. Sometimes when I want to sleep, I start freaking. Oh my God, if they enter my house, what will happen? You know, it's been 1 year, but they don't stop, and it's more challenging to continue the fight. But I'm not regret of what I did and what I'm doing, but it's very difficult. Even we are out of Afghanistan, we are fighting for them. And we are trying our best to raise awareness and to push international community to recognize gender apartheid as a crime, and to just be their voice, because I don't have a power, so the only power I have is just to be their voice. So I just want to tell them that they are not alone, and they are strong, and there are many people out of Afghanistan that they are fighting for them, and they are real heroes, and one day they will be free, and this freedom will come from our own fighting. And the freedom is, nobody can give us freedom, it's us who is giving ourselves freedom. So we have to continue the fight, even though I know it's difficult, it's risky, but unfortunately this is the cause of freedom. You have to fight and to suffer. So I just want to tell them, stay strong, and one day our day will come. I really don't suffer only for Afghanistani women. I suffer also for women in Sudan, in Congo, all around the world that they are suffering, you know. So it's about humanity. We can teach what is human rights, women's rights, you know, but we cannot teach humanity, because this is coming from heart. I think the most important is to not recognize Taliban and to recognize gender apartheid as a crime. Because if we recognize gender apartheid as a crime, this will be a big punishment against Taliban. And it will be very difficult for them to fit in international community. And for the women, I think they can help them by online education. And because, for example, I'm not really a fan of opening schools in Afghanistan, because there will be madrasas and they will brainwash people to become terrorists. So it's better to schools stay closed. But we can give them education through websites, you know, online education, to teach them things online. This is better, at least, you know, they're gonna learn good things, not bad things, and to be their voice, and to stop normalizing Taliban. I see some influencers that are going to Afghanistan, they are normalizing the situation. This is not fair, because of course for someone who has a French passport or British passport, of course you are safe when you're in Afghanistan with Taliban, because they are not gonna kill you. They need you to normalize them. So stop normalizing Taliban, because by normalizing Taliban, the world will stay more silent. They are already silent about what is going on. When people see that, they're like, oh, it's not really bad there, the situation. It's not really what they say about it. So it's again another punishment to our fight. Someone like me who's suffering from lack of freedom and safety in Paris, simply because I speak about the situation, And by normalizing Taliban, they are normalizing gender apartheid in Afghanistan. So I think France can be the first country to recognize gender apartheid as a crime and to support young girls in Afghanistan through online education and to help them, some of them for to get a scholarship, you know, to help them. You know, we cannot, of course, help all of the women to leave the country, but we can help some of them, and we can also give platforms to young girls who are out of the country and they are fighting for women's rights, to give them platform and to let them to raise their voice, because we don't talk about what is going on in Afghanistan. We forget what is going on in Afghanistan. It's a dream since I started taekwondo to become an Olympic champion, and now it's more than that. It's a political fight for me, and I want to be present at the Olympic Games. I want to fight and win, and to show that they cannot erase women, because they wanted to kill me in France. They wanted to rape me. They wanted to make me silent, to, you know, to stop talking about the truth. But I want to show them that they couldn't. They failed, and I'm here, and I'm competing, and I'm achieving one of my dreams. So for me, it's a political fight against injustice, against gender apartheid, and to be a light for other girls, you know, to give them this courage, dare to dream and dare to fight, you know. And I am one of them. The difference is just I'm in France, but there are many like me. They are in Afghanistan and they are dreaming to become someone. So for me, it's just to show the power of Afghanistani women. I'm just one of them. So for me, it's very important to be part of Olympics, even it's very difficult and challenging. And I'm proud that I really know what is freedom. I really know what is women's rights. And I'm proud of what I'm fighting. I believe it deep in heart. So I'm not acting or just talking something that I don't know about it. I'm proud of, I'm talking from my heart and the pain that is coming from my heart. So if I'm in a class, if I'm in a team, if I'm with a friend, or even if I'm walking the street, when I see injustice, I don't feel comfortable. I'm proud of that I'm still a human being and I still have a heart, and I think of every people who is suffering from injustice and violence. So this is my book. They cannot have my silence because they wanted to silence me. So we decided to name this book They Cannot Have My Silence. And as you see the photo, there is half of me with the hijab. This is a part of me that they wanted me to be like this, but I didn't want this. So I am like this now because this is the real Marzieh. Since I was a kid, I was against this part of Marzieh that they were forcing me. And this is real part of me that I want to be free and to live the way I want and to express myself. And it's about my journey. It's about my life in Iran, in Afghanistan, about my sport life, about my political fight, about what I want, and about everything that I have been through in life, and about the threats that started in Paris, because I left Afghanistan to be safe and free, but I faced the same problem here again. I faced the same people. So I wanted to turn all of this into a book, and I wanted to share my story with people, to read about me and to know me more and to feel more connected with me, with real Marzieh. So in this book, you can see the whole Marzieh. I want to say to Marzieh, bravo for not giving up and to to be smart about the situation, because people like, we saw like, okay, women are not in the street, the schools are closed, but we didn't talk about the mental health of them, how they are suffering emotionally. And some of them killed themselves because they just didn't want to live with the Taliban. I didn't live what they live, but I really feel it deeply, you know. And I just want to say bravo for being a fighter, and to be a good girl and to listen to your heart, because I listen my heart and I follow my heart. So I just want to say to Marzieh, bravo for my courage and to be a crazy girl.